it's incredible to be able to come to events like this. I came to the 70th anniversary, and although we don't get to see each other as much as we would like, especially the actors, coming to these kind of events is amazing, not only for the actors to be able to kind of catch up and reminisce and talk about the incredible experience of making the series, but also to actually put it in context, to be able to come to you know, some of the places where some of those very famous battles took place, to be able to see the evidence, you know, to go to Brecourt Manor or Carentan, and also to meet the veterans and to be able to hear firsthand, you know, about their experiences of coming back, what it means to them to be back in Normandy. And, you know, it's, as I was saying before, it feels less and less like an acting job and more like a responsibility for us to be able to kind of carry the torch for those guys who actually, you know, were here fighting, and for, you know, the losses of the guys who never made it home. So, you know, it's a very kind of emotional time, nostalgic time, and as also, you know, a lot of fun to be able to kind of meet up with the guys and share stories and spend a bit of time just catching up. You know, it's been 20 years, so we formed very close bonds over those years, and it's fantastic to see everybody.
I look at these guys there, I go, that, you know, there's something I connect with them that's different than other people. They know something that I know, that we know together. And, you know, we all navigate it in our own way. But I know these guys, you know, they have to deal with things that I know about. And in that way, you know, we bond. You know, we bond together.
20 years later, it's like you don't skip a day. And then when you come, you realize just what it means to everyone else.
You know, we're doing this for Tim, we're doing this for, you know, Stephen and Tom Hanks and all those that have made this, and all the guys and everybody that we've played and everybody that we've, you know, that we know that this means something to, and all the people that have come here to basically remember what's important, what's valuable. So that's our main focus. But then there's moments that we get to check out, and we get to take some time for ourselves and remember, oh, I'm so glad that I've seen you. I'm so happy that we had this time together, and I'll remember that. And I'll remember this moment, and this is nourishing to my soul.
Seeing Dale again is amazing. He's the more time goes by, the more I love him, and the more I miss him, and the more I think of just how special it was to spend that time with him, and to get trained by him, and insulted by him, beaten by him.
Seeing Captain die is always a pleasure. I mean, I've seen him, you know, a few times over in LA, as well as at events like this. You know, when we were filming the series, I think we were all kind of in fear of him because of our kind of boot camp experience. Whereas now I think, you know, we've let that guard down, and we can now just kind of chat as, you know, man to man. I think he's very, very proud of the show. He's very proud of what we all achieved together. And it's just lovely to be able to have, you know, adult conversations with him about things other than how to, you know, carry a weapon and strip an M1 rifle. So yeah, I mean, it's still a bit nerve-wracking, you know, whenever he's around, because I think we all remember that kind of experience of meeting him at boot camp and what he kind of represented. But you know, Dale's fantastic, and as I say, very proud of all of us and what we achieved. And it's just great to be able to spend time kind of hanging out and hearing his stories and his cadences and reminiscing about, as I say, what we made, you know, when we were filming the show.
You got to understand, when you're in a situation with someone like him, who's trained you and is basically, you know, scared you, you know, into being the soldier that you need to be for the role, it's hard for that role to change. It's hard to get buddy-buddy with, you know, you take step by step to try and personalize, try and have some sort of relationship that's you know, somewhat human. But it always comes back to, you know, when I always defer. When he say, yes, Captain, like, yes, sir, what are we meant to do? Where are we going? What are we doing? You know, but it's amazing that role, it's hard to break from that relationship. And so for me, it's always wonderful to hear his stories, and always to have him here, because he knows what we need to be doing. And he knows that, really this is his domain. And it's been part of his life for so many years. So if I need to get, directed in the way that what are we going to be doing next, or how do we approach this? How are we going to go about this? I'd look to him and I go, oh, Captain, what do we, what do we, and it's so I guess I rely upon him in these situations. Obviously his stories, and obviously to learn more about him and how he came about being, in the life that he's lived, and where he came from is really important. So this time around, it's really been a delight. It's been really beautiful.
I mean, these guys are, I don't know how to describe them really, because they're so humble, it's just ridiculous. And they're just beautiful. It's beautiful to see them together, see the way they interact with each other. It's surreal how nice they are to us. Bunch of little kids, even at 46, compared to them. Never do anything even remotely close in my life to what one of them did in one day here. And that's incredible. And then being able to share that with everyone that comes here, and hoping that as these gentlemen pass away, that we've somehow, we'll never replace them, but somehow sort of grabbed a bit that I can tell my children about.
It's incredibly important to keep their memory alive. What they did means that we have freedom today. They made a huge sacrifice by putting themselves in the front line. I often kind of watch the series or go back to the original source material, read the book, and when you read those stories, you just can't quite believe how anybody had the courage to be able to jump out of a plane behind enemy lines and put themselves at the forefront of that kind of campaign. So I think it's really, really important to remember the huge sacrifice that they all made, the bravery, and the ability to make sure that we have freedom today. And had they not done that, the world would be a very different place. And it's incredibly important to kind of pass those stories on to a new generation, so that the new generation understands the sacrifice that they made, and the importance of World War II and D-Day in particular.
Like, did you see the guy the other day, the old boy who looked about 70, who was walking around shaking our hands? Because most of them are in wheelchairs now. Sure. And there was one of them that was still like ramrod straight and fucking gripped like a vice. And I thought that he was a veteran of Korea. And he's like, no, son. I was 506. It's just like unbelievable. And the events are wonderful. From the historical point, going seeing the churches, seeing the battlefields, arguing about the positions of the cannons and where they were, who did what, and it really personalizes it. And I think it's just a real treat to be here.